Thank you, Madam Chair and members. SB 398 addresses an issue that has become quite prominent in United States elections, and that is crafting a mechanism to, in my view, increase either turnout or registration by, in essence, paying voters, which is and should be illegal. What this bill does, SB 398, it closes a potential loophole in the law by making it a crime for a person to knowingly or willfully pay or offer to pay money or other valuable consideration to another person with the intent to induce the person to vote or register to vote, where the payment is contingent upon whether the person voted or registered to vote. Once again, I thank Nicole Becker for your assistance in crafting this bill, making this bill a better product. And to the extent there have been amendments offered, we accept them. With me to testify here is Mr. Trent Lange. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Wonderful. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you. Good morning, Madam Chair and members. I'm Trent Lange, President of the California Clean Money Campaign. We're proud to support SB 398 and are grateful to the leadership of Senator Umberg for authoring this important bill and for the work of this committee to improve it. One of the cornerstones of our democracy is the principle that no one should be allowed to buy votes. That's why federal law prohibits offering payments in exchange for registering to vote or to vote. However, it does not explicitly ban the use of lotteries, nor does it explicitly ban giving incentives to people who are already registered to vote. This loophole has recently been exploited. As Senator Umberg described, in last year's presidential election, Elon Musk's America PAC conducted $1 million lottery to registered voters in, and only registered voters in swing states who signed a petition. Then America PAC offered Wisconsin voters and registered voters and only registered voters entry into $1 million lottery and $100 payments for signing onto another petition. These were transparent attempts to encourage people to register who weren't already registered, even if it wasn't actually stated on the petition. You're going to want to register if you're not already, so you get that $100 in the entry into the lottery. That's why it's so important that SB 398, as Senator Umberg describes, makes it a crime to give money or other valuable consideration, including lotteries, where the payment is contingent upon whether the person voted or registered to vote. The committee has made very appropriate recommendations for exclusions for things such as transportation, payments by government, and paid time off for employees. With these amendments, SB 398 will still do what it must. It will close this loophole and make sure this doesn't happen in California, so we respectfully request your aye vote. Thanks again.
Thank you so much. Do we have anybody in the room who'd like to just state their name and organization and position? If so, come up to the mic.
Again, Jeff Tartagia, an advocate locally here in Sacramento.
Nancy Neff, representing all of the clean money activists here in the room. Raise your hands. And many more in the hall outside in support of this bill. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Any other witnesses who want to state their name in support? Seeing none, we'll move on to the primary witnesses in opposition. Are there any primary witnesses in opposition to the bill? Seeing none, anyone just want to state their name and position?
David Bolog in opposition. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll bring it back to the committee. Assemblymember Stalachi.
Madam Chair, I'll move the item.
You have a motion and a second. Any other questions or comments about the bill?
I'll make a comment.
Okay.
I'm not surprised that we had no opposition witnesses show up in terms of primary witnesses, et cetera. It's just hard to imagine that people would think this is acceptable. Thank you.
Just thank you to the author and, of course, all the folks here today and being advocates for this. I just want to thank them publicly because it takes time to come to the Capitol and be here on a Wednesday morning. So thank you.
Yes, very grateful. Seeing no other questions or comments from committee members, Senator, you may close.
Well, thank you very much. Buying of votes has a historic precedent, and it's a very powerful incentive to vote or to register to vote. It's my view, and I think the view of Clean Money and Common Cause, et cetera, that one should register to vote not because they're paid to register to vote. One should vote not because they're paid to vote, but because it's their patriotic responsibility. but nevertheless, that is a powerful incentive. And one quick little anecdote. This is from over 30 years ago when I was walking precincts, first election I ever walked precincts, with my 4-year-old daughter at the time. And we were handing out small little plants. And it had a little vote for X for mayor on the plant. And my daughter said, why are we handing out these plants? And I said, it's a symbol. It's a symbol of the candidate. People will keep it. They'll be reminded that this candidate is environmentalist and they want to basically provide for open space and those kinds of things. And it's got that person's name on it. So they'll keep it and we hope till election. And she said, well, why don't we just give them money? Which I thought, yeah, that illustrates my point, is even a 4-year-old recognizes the incentive to vote when one gets money. So with that, I urge an aye vote.
Great story, yes. And I remember the potholders, too. Those were great. So I agree with the author and supporters that the tactics used in swing states during the November 2024 election and subsequently in Wisconsin were very troubling. And I appreciate the author's goal to try and prevent these sorts of activities from occurring in California. I do, however, believe that the broad nature of the prohibition in this bill could have those unintended consequences. So I appreciate the author's willingness to accept the amendments outlined in the committee's analysis. And with those amendments, I'm recommending support. We have a motion by Salache, a second by Bennett, I believe. Was it, am I have it backward? Sorry, okay. And you may call the roll.
On SB 398 by Umberg, the motion is do pass as amended and be re-referred to the Committee on Public Safety. Pellerin?
Aye.
Pellerin, aye. Macedo? Aye. Macedo, aye. Bennett? Bennett, aye. Berman?
Aye.
Berman, aye. Salache?
Aye.
Salache, aye. Stephanie? Tongipa?
That bill is out 5-0. We'll keep the roll open for our absent member.